Barely a month before elections in Kenya, the country's president and chief justice appear to be at odds. Trouble started when President Uhuru Kenyatta responded to the opposition's court victory against the country's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This follows Friday's High Court ruling that a contract to print ballot papers for the presidential election was not awarded transparently. The opposition has already brought a flurry of cases against the Electoral Commission. In his response, Kenyatta cautioned against using the court process to delay the elections. But Chief Justice Maraga fired back, warning Kenyatta not to undermine public confidence in the judiciary. Memories are still fresh in Kenya of the violence that followed the disputed 2007 elections. More than 1,200 people died, and some fear the country might see a repeat after next month's polls, in which Kenyatta is seeking a second and final term. Well, as Kenyans prepare to go to the polls to vote at all levels of government, there is something different on the ballot this year: a surge in the number of independent candidates. A quarter of the more than 15,000 people cleared to run for office by the Electoral Commission are independents. Lady Ruvaga is in Nairobi for us with more.
The governorship of Nairobi County is among the most hotly contested races this year, given the importance of the capital. Peter Kenneth is one of 5 candidates challenging the incumbent for the seat. 3 of them, including Kenneth, are running as independents. The former MP ran for president in 2013 under the banner of the Kenya National Congress, but he didn't make the cut during this year's primaries.
The big parties conspire against individuals, but I think you can see with this particular sham, it was across the board many of the leading political parties. So you have more independent candidates than the political parties have. And what will be a lasting ramifications is that in future people will not go for party nominations.
That remains to be seen. These are only the second nationwide elections since 2010, when Kenya's new constitution allowed people to run as independents. Some voters are embracing the added choice.
It's not about party, because at the end of the day, party will not solve out my issues. I have to look at a leader who can look at the nature of the young people, a leader who can fight for the environment, education, security.
Another gubernatorial candidate for Nairobi County, Miguna, goes door to door to sell his policies. He notes that being independent comes with its own challenges.
The first major challenge, obviously, is that changing a people's mindset takes a lot of effort and time. And we just had the Constitution ratified in 2010. Secondly, the so-called established parties, which are fictional constructs, unfortunately have a lot of money.
The ruling Jubilee coalition and the opposition National Super Alliance continue to dominate the political landscape. But this year's primaries were plagued with allegations of irregularities and favoritism, leading to court challenges. The governor of Kiambu County, William Kabogo, broke off from Jubilee to run for re-election as an independent. He says the newly formed Kenya Alliance of Independent Candidates counts nearly 5,000 members.
People are beginning to now think about candidates and not forums, not parties, not euphoria. And if this happens successfully in terms of the number of people we get into parliament, or the number of people who will succeed in this general election having participated as independent candidates, then that will create a different level in terms of how mature we are in electioneering.
Kenyans will have their say at the polls August 8th. Lenny Ruvaga for VOA News, Nairobi.